Hi, my name is Anna Neves. I'm the founder of Knowman, a consulting company focused on knowledge management and organizational learning. I'm also the master storyteller behind Social Now, a very unique conference on the use of enterprise social tools to improve internal communications, collaboration, and knowledge sharing and retention. I hope you enjoyed this interview, which is part of a series looking at the impact of digital technology in the current and future workplace. Patrick, thank you very much for agreeing to this interview. Where are you at the moment?
Hi, Anna. Yes, I'm happy to be here. I am in Seattle, tucked up in the northwest corner of the U.S.
Nice. And tell us a bit about yourself.
So I am the Vice President of Worldwide Sales and Marketing at MangoApps. It's a role that I've held for the last 8 years. So I've enjoyed it over that time, and we've seen a lot of changes in the past 8 years. And it's a role that allows me to travel far and wide, seeing customers. So I enjoy it.
Yes, good. And you say that you've been with MangoApps for 8 years. Was it then that MangoApps was created, or did it exist before then?
MangoApps has been around about 11 years. So I started fairly early on, but MangoApps was launched in 2009, so it's been publicly available for about 10 years now.
Nice. And what was the gap that MangoApps was trying to fill in the market?
Right. So we were pretty clear from the start on the gap that we were looking to fill. If you think back 10 years ago, there was a lot of cloud, we would call point solutions that were coming out. These tools that were coming out that were addressing one specific need, maybe a tool for task management, or a tool for instant messaging, or a tool for file storage, file sync and share. And at MangoApps, we really thought all of these things belong on one platform. It'd be a much better user experience if all of this were together and I didn't have to log into 7 or 8 different applications throughout the day. So at the very beginning at MangoApps, we envisioned, we weren't calling it the digital hub at that time. The terminology just wasn't there, the digital workplace. But we really envisioned this one place where employees could go to have all the tools that they needed right there without having to log into multiple tools. So we were looking to fill that gap and making it a better user experience for the employee.
And it's still that your vision, because we are kind of seeing some trends in terms of tools not wanting to be the one-stop tool for everything, but trying to specialize on different business requirements. So is still MangoApps keen on providing that digital hub, or are you now more conscious of these trends and trying to change your development plan?
No, we're certainly focused on the digital hub. So our customers still want this one place where their employees should go, the one place to direct them that has these core tools that are there, the core news and information, what's happening at the company, allowing me to connect and engage with other employees. But what we're doing now is also allowing them to, with one click, launch into other enterprise applications that are critical to them. So certainly MangoApps isn't going to do everything, but it does allow you to connect and integrate into those other applications. But it gives you that dashboard, that jumping off point. So it's one common place that all the employees come to in the morning. They can see information, core things, and then I can, with one click and single sign-on, jump into any of those other enterprise applications I might need throughout the day.
And what are those applications that you feel may be required for your clients to have on the side?
Right. So of course it's different for every customer. And each of our clients, the tools that their users are jumping into are different. But some of the common things is maybe it's your payroll system that you want to be able to access. So now I have on my dashboard in my digital hub, I have a payroll button that I click, and it gets me straight through with single sign-on. I don't have to log in again. I can get into my payroll information. Maybe it's a learning management system that you already use that you want to jump into, so I can click and get directly into that as well. Maybe it's other tools as well. So for each customer, really for each employee, it's different. So on the Mango dashboard, I'm going to see the buttons that are relevant to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so that answers the next question I had for you, which was, do you use MangoApps at MangoApps?
Absolutely. It's really the primary and only tool we use at MangoApps. We wouldn't be able to function as a company if we didn't have it. It's where we share everything.
What are the key work processes at MangoApps that are impacted positively by using it? If I was to switch off MangoApps for you today, what would be the processes that would suffer the most?
Well, we would, you couldn't, we wouldn't be able to exist. And really, a lot of our customers are getting to this point as well. We have clients that are, I'll share. We have a healthcare customer that has 25,000 staff. This is in the United States. They are getting rid of email for 15,000 of those employees. These are doctors and nurses that are at hospitals all over the U.S. And they're getting rid of email for 60% of their staff because they have this internal digital hub. All of our clients rename it something. They call it company. And that's where they share everything. And so there's no more need for email. So if you think at a company today, if you that doesn't have a digital hub, if you were to shut off email, you couldn't. They couldn't exist. And so MangoApps is getting to that with a lot of our customers that are really, really embracing it. You just wouldn't be able to shut it off. It's the core communication within the company.
Interesting. And that health organization, how long have they been using MangoApps? How long has it taken them to get to a point where they feel prepared to do something like that?
So this customer has been using MangoApps for only about a year and a half now.
Wow.
This was their goal from the beginning. They really saw this as a competitive advantage to launch a more modern internal communication and collaboration tool. And they quickly saw that yes, it was going to meet their vision. So they continued forward with that plan. We have other customers that are even outside of healthcare, in retail, in manufacturing, that are seeing the same. Customers that have been using MangoApps now for 5, 6, 7 years. And really, it has become the place that employees go in the morning to see what's happening around the company. They go there to share, to communicate, to post their own information. It really is the true sense of a digital hub.
And you're saying that health sector client started with that intent. How important is it, in your view, that clients have that bold, if you want, ambition from the beginning, or whether it's okay, is it okay for them to grow into that ambition as they see things being used and adopted by their staff?
Of course. So we're not encouraging every client to be so bold at the outset to have this be the end all for everything. However, what we have seen that is very important. I mean, there's certain clients that we can see that have maybe not done as well in their implementation. Others that have had a lot of success. And so what are we always look, what are those things? What are the ones doing that are successful compared to those that aren't? And one of the key things that we see that causes customers or clients to be very successful with a digital hub is at the very beginning, a couple of things I would say. Number one would be there's leadership from the top. There's support from the top. Some sort of an executive level person that is initially communicating the rollout of this new tool. So it has to come from the top, the communication at least. And then the second part would be that communication at launch has to be very clear to tell employees, what is this new thing that we're launching, and how are you expected to use it? What's in it for you? Why is this going to be a good thing for you? Why is it better for you? So when we've seen organizations that have had leadership involvement and they've been very clear about the expectations and why we're doing this and what's in it for you, they've been very, very successful, as opposed to companies that have tried to do somewhat of a hidden soft launch where no one was really told about this, but here it is, and here's an email, and you can log in if you want. Those have had a little bit more difficult time getting started and getting adopted.
Oh, here's a tough question for you now then, based on what you just said. You mentioned about these support, or maybe not so tough. You mentioned this support from the top management, from the leaders. As you know, Social Now this year will be looking at developing digital leadership. How much of that support is required for the launch, and how much of that leaders' engagement with the digital hub, with MangoApps, can grow after the launch? Or if you want, another way of asking the question is, which is more important, having that top level mandate from the beginning, and then maybe them not embracing the tools as much as you would expect, or not having that top mandate and top communication from the beginning, but then them being really active and embracing the tools and this new way of working?
Right. So in our experience, the most important is top level leadership at launch in communicating that clear plan for how we expect to use it. Of course, it is even better if the leadership and executives are active in the network and are posting right from the start and sharing even video posts and things like this on a regular basis, even short snippets, and not waiting for once a quarter email to send out. That is absolutely even better. But we certainly have customers that are very successful, and when the executives aren't incredibly active, but they were active at the very beginning of the launch and sharing what the purpose and the point of the tool was. And the staff have really taken over and have been engaged from the beginning.
Okay, thank you. And Patrick, you know CableLink by heart now. You know all about this fictitious company. And if you were to approach CableLink, trying to give them MangoApps, what is the challenge that you think MangoApps would more quickly and easily solve?
Right. Well, I think, as you know, CableLink is having a terrible time right now with their internal communications, and the rumor mill is running crazy, and there's not a lot in place to stop it, and employees are really forced to share information on the rumor mill because it's not coming from anywhere else. So I think the best thing MangoApps will do for CableLink is allow that ability to stop the rumor mill and really control the internal messaging and really get the right information out and get it to the right people, get it to everyone so everyone can see it. And that really, when you have true information that's coming out and being shared, that immediately stops the rumor mill, because the CableLink will be able to share the facts, the true information of what's happening. And so employees won't have to rely on rumors and guesses on what's happening.
Great. And as we're talking about CableLink, what would be the CableLink character you would prefer working with?
Who would I prefer to work with at CableLink? Yes,
this is a very high-tech way of showing them.
Yes. I would very much enjoy working with Ann McClear, because Ann is a go-getter. She's willing to think outside the box and figure out how do we solve this. We have a problem, we need to solve it. Let's all get together, put our heads together. And so she's very collaborative. She's engaging, she's ambitious, and I think Ann would be a lot of fun to work with. So I would pick Ann McClear. Good.
And who would be your biggest nightmare? Who do you think would pose the biggest hurdles in terms of the success of a MangoApps project at CableLink?
Right. I think my concern would be with Sam McCable, the head of engineering. And I only say that because I don't know Sam that well yet, but sometimes I'm concerned that engineers may not be quick to adopt, and they may throw some challenges up for us. So we need to get Sam on board. So I want to spend more time with him.
Okay, I would suggest that McCree's is probably worse. McCable seems to be okay. Just watch out for McCree's.
Okay, thank you.
He's in engineering too.
Thank you.
And Patrick, some quick fire questions for you.
Yes.
What is MangoApps' main competitor?
Our main competitor, SharePoint.
Okay. What's the biggest cost of implementing an intranet with MangoApps?
The biggest cost in terms of financial cost?
However you want to look at it.
Yeah, well, MangoApps in terms of cost is very, very competitive price. So I don't think we have a major cost issue.
Okay. The proudest moment in the life of MangoApps?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Proudest moment in the life of MangoApps?
Oh, that's a good one. The proudest moment in the life of MangoApps, I think the proudest moment was the first time we won Best Presentation and Best Tool at Social Now.
That's a good answer. Well done. Tell me about a duh moment for MangoApps.
A duh moment at MangoApps. That's a good one too. I can't think of anything right now.
You can send it to me later. That.
Okay.
Can you think of a fun episode, something that happened with a client of yours or during one of your projects, something that made you laugh?
Yeah, well, I'll share something that was fun, and this might double as a duh as well, but it really shows the power of a tool, a digital hub. So we have one of our retail customers that when the tool was put out there, all the employees kind of had fun with this new ability to share pictures and videos, and this is a retail company, and someone in the warehouse took a video showing how they wrap the crates, the product packages as they ship them from the warehouse, and they wrap them with plastic around the outside and ship them out. And someone in retail, one of the retail store employees, saw that video and they went, aha, because the pallets get delivered on the sidewalk out front of the store, and sometimes when it's raining, the product, the plastic wrap is only around the outside, it's not on top. So the product gets wet and it gets damaged. And so in the retail store, one of the employees took a picture of the pallet sitting out in front of their store, getting drenched in the rain, and they just took that picture and replied to the video and said, "Love your video, but by the way, if you're wrapping the plastic, can you wrap the plastic over the top also?" And
nice
so
one.
the warehouse responded right away and said, "We've made the change already. We're wrapping them over the top as well." So really fun story, a duh moment that they should have. Why didn't they do that from the beginning? But really shows the power of that. Never would have happened before. Retail had never had a way to communicate back to the warehouse and describe the problem. So
that's a good one. That's a good one. Patrick, we're almost wrapping up. I've got a question from Celine Schillinger. I went on social media and asked people to send us some questions for you, and Celine sent this one. Not specifically for you, but for some of the vendors. So I've chosen you to be the recipient of this one. Celine, as you know, will be the keynote speaker at this year's edition. And she's asking, what have you learned from the evolution of public social media that made you evolve your enterprise product in order to avoid polarization, fragmentation, and manipulation of conversations?
Right. It's a good question. So what we learned from public social media is of course the power of the platform, the power of the network, and the easy ability to be able to quickly share and communicate in a modern way. What we also learned from public social media, the negative side of that on the public side, is the easy ability for there to be negative information and conversations on the public platform, and to manipulate the conversation and to really say things that are not nice. Maybe these trolls that are out there. And so what we learned, and there's certainly our customers have that same concern when they implement this capability in-house. How do we control that? How do we make sure people aren't manipulating the conversation? How do we make sure negative things aren't being shared in our company network? So we really had to look at that, and we added some tools to allow the conversation to be controlled, to allow employees really to we call it flag a feed. So I can click a button to flag a feed in case something looks like it might be inappropriate or against company policy. I can flag a feed that automatically notifies an administrator of that forum, and they can look at the feed and decide if it needs to be deleted and taken down, or if the user needs to be talked to about it. So we really learned a lot from public social media. But the part most important to our customers, since this is their internal corporate network, is we make sure we control and limit any of the negative sides, some of those things that happen out on public social media, and are giving them tools to be able to control that in-house in their internal network.
But do you see that as a big issue? Does it really happen that much internally?
So I'll tell you, it's always a very big issue in the discussions before we launch the network. With the company, it comes up every single time. Yeah. But Anna, you're right. Once we launch the network, it is very rare that it ever happens in practice. And the reason is we figured it out. It wasn't very hard, but we did. You can't do anything anonymously in your corporate social network. Everything is tagged to your name. When in public social media, you can create anonymous accounts and then you can say anything. But in the corporate world, everything is tagged to your name, and so people are respectful, and the tools that we put in place, I'll be honest, they are very rarely used. This flagging a feed and things like that, and deleting comments. Yep. It's very rare that it's needed because people know it's a company network, and it would be a career limiting move to post some of those things.
Yes, yeah, that's my experience too, I have to say, Patrick. One final question. This is your fifth year at Social Now, telling us about a day of work at CaveLink using MangoApps. Why are you choosing to come to Social Now every year? What does it make, or what makes Social Now so special? And how would you describe it to other people who've not had been lucky enough to experience it?
Right. Well, Anna, it's my favorite event of the year, and I'm not saying this just because I'm talking with you. I say that when I'm talking with anyone, really, and it really is. If you have any interest in digital hubs, digital workplace, I really think Social Now is the best event of the year for you. And the reason is because it's, of course, the vendors are there, the tools are there, so you get to see how each tool might be used in the real world. So that's of course great. I don't know any other event that's doing that in that way. In addition to that, all the other attendees that are there, all the consultants, all the experts in the industry. There's a lot of great discussion that happens even outside of the presentations. So it's certainly the event for me each year that I look forward to the most, and I would encourage anyone that has any interest in digital workplace, digital hub, this is the event to be at.
Oh, it's great. I could hug you now if you weren't so far away.
Yes. In Lisbon, yes.
Yes, I mean, very close to Lisbon. Patrick, yes. This is great. I really look forward to welcoming you again to Social Now. This year you're bringing a Dutch retailer with you, and I really look forward to hearing their experience as well. Thank you very much for this for this time. I know you're kind of busy all the time, so thank you for this.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Anna, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Lisbon in June.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation. For more interviews and other great content, visit socialnow.org.